Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sim TV. I'm Kyle Hyra here with Finny and Dakuna. We're at the Twin Ring Motegi this evening for the Firestone Firehawk 300, the second round of the 2018 Season 6 Rickshare World Series for the International Sim Drivers Club. So, Finian, we're about 7.5 minutes away from getting qualifying underway here, and there is lots to talk about from last week. Penalties already. Robert Hill has been indefinitely suspended from the ISTC with immediate effect. That is a ban until 2020 in regards to post-race antics in violation of Section 2.2.7.1 in the rulebook. Chris Sweat, Dylan Gooden, Anthony Hyatt, and Johnny Eckert also with probations until May 14th and May 31st, respectively, Finian. And as well as Marcus Yestal has been penalized 5 championship points and is on probation through May 9th for his part in the lap 67 incident at Homestead, Miami. So lots of penalties from last week, so we might see a little bit more reserve driving this week. But let's head down to the racetrack, and we'll see what we can get an eye on the last 7 minutes of practice here. Aaron Bean, currently in 5th place right now, so there's on the left-hand side of your screen a new ticker this week for Sim TV. Finny and we've been working on this one for a long time, and we're just trying to work out the bugs, so bear with us if there's any weird graphical glitches and stuff. We're trying to get that all sorted out, and the only way to test it is by using it. So Finny and Motegi here, this racetrack is in Japan and definitely unique. By what standards?
Oh, well, I like to call this the Darlington of Japan, and as we go on board with Aaron Bean here, we're going to see that there are 2 completely different corners on either side of the racetrack. Turn 1 and 2 are pretty open, pretty wide, and you can pretty much go flat out on both of them. There's a little bit of banking there to help you. And as you can see him go into 3 and 4, he's going to have to let off the gas a bit, and it's much flatter and also shorter as well.
Yeah, so a very unique racetrack, one of iRacing's only ovals that's outside of the United States, and this should make for an interesting race tonight as the track is different on both ends. Very similar to Darlington back in the States. Zach Buchanan right now is leading Tim Silliman on the timing charts for practice. We'll have a couple minutes of qualifying. Drivers will get 2 laps to post their best time, and we will get to see them line up and go for 100 laps here tonight. So last week, I believe we had 2 yellows about mid-race, and that kind of led to some interesting fuel strategy and led to Justin Rector stretching his fuel to win the Toyota Indy 300 back last week at Homestead. Tanner Watkins was the one that won pole last week and finished 9th. He was up there for most of the race. Right now, he's running 8th place in practice. Previous winners at Motegi for ISTC are Keiten Bommersbach and Stephen Larkamp. And this race has previously served twice as the late-season race for the championship and is serving for the 2nd time as an early-season round. Danny Roberts holds the track record with a 26.734, and that has already been broken by Zach Buchanan and several others at the top of the chart with a 26.447 for Buchanan. And it looks like the top 13 or 14 have actually broken that record, so a little bit quicker pace this time around.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the new chassis coming here. A lot less drag on these cars so they can go much faster.
And tonight's race is 100 laps, 155 miles, which is 300 kilometers. Fuel is capped at 11.6 gallons, prompting pit stops about every 30 laps. So, Finian, 100 laps around here, that's about what we did at Homestead. What are your predictions for the next race?
With a greatly timed caution like in last race, we might see some interesting fuel strategy play out. If these guys can stretch out those 30 lap pit windows, if they can get it to 33 each, they can just about make it on 2 stops. However, that is stretching it. So we'll see if these guys try to play some strategy here and there and see how it all ends up at the end of the day. Because it did turn out extremely interesting last week with the 2 leaders running out of fuel in the last lap.
Yeah, some other ISTC Series news. Nick Cohen won the ISTC Grand National Series Daytona 500 on Thursday. Will Roberts won the CSRT Super Truck Series opener at Phoenix. Bill Ahrens won the Late Night Sprint Championship Gator Nationals, Round 1 from USA. Grand National visits Homestead, Miami this Thursday, so if you're interested in Grand National Series, you can check out ISTC's website. That race will take place on Thursday. CSRT Super Trucks visits USA International this Thursday. And Late Night Sprints visit Volusia later tonight, 11:20 for practice, 11:45 Eastern for the green flag. Also, one more note, the ISTC Endurance Championship kicks off this Sunday, May 6th from the Interlagos Circuit in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I think we're about 3.5 minutes away from getting qualifying started. Right, so still at the top of the board, Zach Buchanan by about 0.08 of a second. I expect this race to be pretty close and see a lot of action, just like we saw at Homestead. That was one of the best races we've ever broadcasted. It was a lot of fun to watch. The fuel mileage kind of threw a wrench into a lot of things for some of the drivers, especially, who was it that had an unfortunate late race circumstance? Watkins. Where is he? Looking for him. Tanner Watkins, that's right. I was looking for the name. Once again, we're still getting used to all the drivers in this series. As weeks go on, we'll be memorizing all these names. But a lot of drivers here. 24 cars entered for the race. And again, we got our new ticker there on the left-hand side of the screen. Unfortunately, doesn't do overtake animations like the JRT-based ticker did. But I think it looks a little bit better. So we'd like to hear your feedback on that and any suggestions you'd like to see. Please let us know in the comments of the video or talk to us on Discord, and we'll try to see if we can get those implemented. So, Finian, this racetrack, a little bit different than a lot of the American ovals. A little bit different surface compound in the asphalt, but what about multiple lines?
Yeah, definitely. You're going to see some guys, just in general, just look for any advantage they can get over the competitors. And really, that's just the key to oval racing. Trying to look for different lines, different ways around your opponents. Because if you run the same line as a guy in front of you, you're never going to get past him. As you can see here, multiple lines at work there. So, different guys are going to have different strategies on what line to take. Some guys are going to take a more conservative or a higher line to try to save those tires for later on the run. Some guys are going to run more aggressive towards the bottom, but will burn their tires off. So we're definitely going to see a mix of all of them.
All right, and before we get qualifying underway, I just want to make a shout out to our series, our series sponsor and our broadcast sponsor, Rigshare LLC. It's the title sponsor for the Rigshare World Series. It's a company that is based out of Lehigh Valley, specializing in mining cryptocurrency. So check out their website in the video description. We also want to give a big thanks to Sparko for also helping support these broadcasts. We also have a link to that in the description. So for those watching on YouTube, the race start time can be found in the video description, as well as links to the series standings and other information. And with about a minute left, there's Cody Wenzen in the 67. Currently running P15 right now. So speeds of about 215 miles an hour down the straightaways here at Twin Ring Motegi. Slower, faster than Homestead, around the same?
I'd say a little bit faster than Homestead. I feel like they're going about 5 to 6 miles an hour shorter. Just because those straightaways were shorter in length. So.
Alright, so we're wrapping up practice here at the Twin Ring. Other drivers that had unfortunate race finishes last week. Danny Roberts still finished 9th, but he ran out of fuel and finished, sixth last week. But he led 83 laps en route to that. So Danny Roberts led 83 of the 100 laps and ran out of fuel with just a few laps to go. Let's see, who else? Will Roberts, also heartbreak at the last corner, ran out of fuel and finished 2nd. But Stephen Larkamp finished 3rd, and Stephen Larkamp is past champion in this series. And Larkamp, is he here tonight? Yes, he is. He's P5, and we're going to wrap up practice. And we're going to head to qualifying here in just a moment. All right, predictions for qualifying. Who's your pick? I'm going with Tanner Watkins, because he was wicked fast last week at Homestead.
I'm going to say Danny Roberts.
Not going out too far on a limb here. All right, now we're going to take a look at Matthew Wood in the 65. Now, new on the ticker this week, on the left-hand and bottom side of your screen, you have our new driver information box, and this will pop up when we bring up the telemetry, whoever the camera is focused on. So when we switch, let's see if we can switch to someone else on the racetrack. How about Chris Sweat in the 07? You can see the name changes, and it gives current speed as well as the position they started in the last lap that they ran. So, focus drivers, that will pop up in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. There's Zach Buchanan in 40. Quickest in practice. We expect him to be quick here in qualifying. I'm still taking Tanner Watkins for the pole, so hopefully he can jump up there and grab that top spot. And Zach Buchanan already jumps to the top of the board with a 26.53, but he did run faster in practice, so I expect that time to fall to other drivers here. And Tyler Tucker comes in P2 right now, about 0.03 of a second behind the number 55. That 55 is sponsored by Royal Purple for Team Scandia Racing. Tim Silliman in the 39. Pretty good run last week for them.
Oh, quite a bit of the apron there. Did he finish both of those? I'm guessing he did.
And Tim Silliman, sponsored by Alloy and Rigshare, for Team Rigshare. So they're also the title sponsor for the series. So I want to thank Tim for that. There's Johnny Parham this week in the 51. Not on our entry list here. He's a new addition to the series, so I don't have. I think it was sponsored by Red Bull there, as easy to see. But Danny Roberts in the 41, sponsored by Ferrari. Interesting sponsor selection there, but we'll take it. Also, I want to give a special thanks to who was it? I was just looking at Dylan Gooden. Trash Panda Motorsport. I am a big fan of that team name. So
very creative.
I'll give him that. So Zach Buchanan still at the top of the board at that 26.5. See Danny Roberts rolling around here. He puts it at 27.2. So
I believe, yep, though, because that was his first lap time. So we'll see second lap time is always quicker with the IndyCar, the way the momentum works. So we'll see second time will be his true time. I hope, because I want him to get on pole.
And Chris Gutierrez is in the Verizon Chevy, and he is currently in fourth. So he's running a top 5. Tanner Watkins I'm disappointed, only in 5th right now. Not a bad starting place, but after last week, I thought he'd be up there. And to the pole, and there goes Danny Roberts with a 26.5. Finian's already better at doing this than I am. But Tanner Watkins, sponsored by Avery Huffman Defeat the IPG Foundation. He's driving a Chevrolet for Watkins Motorsports Group. And there he is in his blue number 3. So a minute left in qualifying, and not very many cars out on track right now, Finian. So maybe your prediction was right already out of the gate. So Danny Roberts jumps to pole, and your top 5 right now on the left-hand side of your screen, the 41, 40, 55, 39, and 2. And those gaps are right there on the left-hand side of your screen. 1 ticker for everything here. Keep everything nice and tidy looking. So with 50 seconds remaining in qualifying, we're going to set everybody up and go for a pace lap and set these guys loose for the Firestone Firehawk 300 at Twin Ring Motegi. I'm going to note here that Brian Mullen is not here this evening. I think he had wheel issues, but that Best Buy Chevy will not take to the racetrack this evening, unfortunately. Right, so looks like Stephen Larkamp, Kyle Pokerski, and Jackson Robillard are going to take 8th through 10th. Johnny Eckert's going to slide into 7th. Johnny Eckert, one of those drivers on probation after last week's race at Homestead. Rounding out the field, Will Roberts is racing this week, so Will Roberts is going to jump up to 14th in qualifying. A field of 25 cars in this race, and 25 on our ticker. And now you can see the bottom left-hand corner, the ticker now cycles between top 15 and then 15 through 20 and 20 through 25. Cool new feature that Finian suggested a little while ago, so glad we have that on board. So we're going to set up and grid everybody and get them ready for 100 laps here around Twin Ring Motegi. And just got a note from Deacon Allen, also not appearing tonight. Sickness running through the team has kept him away from the track this week. So unfortunately, Deacon Allen is not feeling so well, so we wish him a little bit better health, and hopefully he'll be back next week. Feel better, buddy. We hope to see you back out here. There is the field gridding on pit road. We got 25 cars going to take the green here at Twin Ring Motegi, and Finian 100 laps around here. Different ends of the racetrack. Now, is this one of those places, like at Darlington, I find myself I mean, and this is because I don't drive ovals and I stink at them, but I can get lost sometimes, and there's times when I barreled off into turn turn 3 at Darlington. See, I'm such a great oval driver, and I kind of forget that I'm going into a tighter corner, and Twin Ring's the same way, where one end of the track is tighter than the other, and that is not so great if you forget where you are.
Yeah, I don't think you would run into this issue here at this track. You can usually kind of tell which side is which. I can definitely see at Darlington getting confused. That's happened to me a few times. But, yeah, I think also with these guys is getting used to going through two different corners. Because typically on an oval, you're going through the same corner pretty much the entire ways around. But with this, you have two different corners, you have two different approaches, and just getting into a rhythm between both of those corners is going to be key for these guys.
All right, so the rough RT12 pace car is going to peel off the pit road, and Danny Roberts is going to lead him off in the Ferrari 41. And Twin Ring Motegi serves as Honda's proving ground, so kind of a home race for all the Hondas in the field. And the ticker a little out of order there, unfortunately, but as soon as they take the green, it'll get itself sorted out, so still working out small details. Get this all set up. But Danny Roberts is on the pole in the 41. And we'll work our way down the back straight. Down the back straightaway we roll, heading into the final corners, and we're going to set them loose here for 100 laps at the Twin Ring Motegi. Interesting to note, not a lot of catch fencing around here.
No, there is not.
So you don't really want to get yourself airborne, and as we see, these Indy cars are prone to it. Out of the final corner, green flag at the Twin Ring Motegi. Danny Roberts is going to lead him down to the green. See Tim Silliman right there on the rear bumper of Zach Buchanan in the 40. And we're already spreading out 3 wide for the lead. And farther back. But Danny Roberts is going to be under attack from Zach Buchanan in the 40. And Zach's going to take that spot away. Tanner Watkins battling behind him with Tyler Tucker. And Chris Gutierrez is right there in the silver Horizon Chevrolet. And Tyler Tucker in the 55 for Royal Purple for Team Scandia Racing, trying to mount an attack on Tanner Watkins. Already the front 10, you can throw a blanket over them, they're so tight. But Danny Roberts is trying to grab the lead back from Zach Buchanan. He's going to do it, but here comes Tim Silliman to try to pass the 40 inside. And Tanner Watkins looking to take advantage of that battle, leaving each other plenty of room up front.
Yeah, great racing by these guys. Really respectful, give each other the whole racetrack to work with. And they're just having some fun up there.
Riding on board with Tanner Watkins there for a moment, but here comes Chris Gutierrez in the number 2. And wow, this racing is really close. As we work our way down the front straight, we see Tim Silliman trying to take that spot away up front for Danny Roberts. We had a crash, and it's Matthew Wood flipping down the front straightaway, and that's kind of the death spiral in the IndyCar here. And up onto the pit wall, and going to come to its resting place there. So we're going to take a look at that and see if we can grab a replay for you. Pretty nasty looking crash. So again, Matthew Wood in the 65 out of this one early. See what happened. Just got tight off of that final corner and just, wow, ramped up the wall. And went for a wild ride down the front straightaway. Luckily, there was the fencing there. Otherwise, that could have been a pretty ugly accident. Not that it wasn't. It was a pretty nasty wreck. So Matthew Wood in the 65 Honda for Matt Wood Racing already out of this one.
So he is still parked on there.
He's still kind of stuck in the wall there. I'm not sure if he's going to get very far. But Danny Roberts holds on to the lead. Tim Silliman in second, Zach Buchanan, Tanner Watkins, and Chris Gutierrez, your top 5. Tyler Tucker slipped to 6th. Stephen Larkamp's moved up a couple spots to 7th. Johnny Eckert 8th. Jackson Robillard 9th. And Kyle Pokerkey in 10th. So kind of a wild start to this one. The caution already 4 laps in.
And here's going to be the interesting thing. Pit window is about 30 laps, as we were discussing earlier. And so that would leave, if you do your math at home, you have about 10 laps extra where you can't do a full 30-lap run. So right now we're on lap 5. So would you want to pit now and try to get that extra bit of fuel just for later on?
Yeah, I think by the time you go to pit road, and I think we'll see some more yellows in this race, I don't think it would be a terrible idea to run down pit road right now, grab some fuel, and then while we're pacing under yellow, push the clutch in, try to save as much fuel as you can, because you might be able to get away with something like some drivers got away with at Homestead. See Phil Clark there in the 25.
And we have we have some takers in the back of the field.
Will Roberts is in pit road, as well as Dylan Gooden, John Martin, Jared Dixon, John Wilco, Jeff Gross, Cody Wenzen, and Matthew Wood, obviously, with that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised 2 names of these guys coming up for fuel. Cody Wenzen and Will Roberts coming to take fuel after what happened last week. I can definitely see why they want some fuel in the tank. So yeah, definitely if you can manage your the way you save, you can definitely get enough in the tank.
Definitely, they're going to want to take fuel whenever possible. See them rolling off pit road. There's Dylan Gooden and John Martin rolling off. Currently P18 and P19. John Wilco in 20th. Jeff Gross and Cody Wenzen stalled at the exit of pit road, and it's going to allow Will Roberts to pass by him. Is that maybe a move to let him by the restart to get a preferred line?
I don't know. I believe it's single file, so I don't think...
Oh, correct. There's my oval experience again. I'm a road driver, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe you probably wanted to start in the back.
Not a terrible idea, but again, you do also want to watch out for rogue flipping cars, as we saw with Matthew Wood. These cars can kind of be unpredictable once they get airborne. They can kind of bounce around like a football, just kind of bouncing all sorts of different directions. You kind of have to figure out how to dodge them. So the Rough RT12 pace car leads him out of turn 4, I believe, and that's going to bring the field behind him. Danny Roberts, Tim Stillman, Zach Buchanan, your top 3. That's been that way. They've traded spots a couple times in the first couple laps, but everywhere, really within the top 15, a lot of trading positions early on in this one. All right, so 1 lap to green to get this restart underway, so they have to sort themselves out and get single file. And this is where we're really going to see the leader drive right up next to the wall on the restart. And why would a driver do that, Vinny?
You want to drive on the outside towards the wall because in iRacing, and I believe in real life too, you are only allowed to make passes on the restart on the outside. Once you cross the start-finish line, it's free game anywhere. But before that line, if you want to make a pass, it has to be on the outside. So, for a driver, if you can only make a pass on the outside, why not stick right up to the wall, and then you can't make a pass in. So that's pretty much the mentality about that.
Jared Dixon just came back out on the racetrack with a 1.5-second long pit stop, so it must have been fixing some kind of damage to his race car. But looks like he's going to be in pretty good shape now.
Yeah, I noticed a bit of damage on his car when he was spinning out Soda Steve as well, so I believe that it was for repairs.
Didn't see where he was, where he received that damage, but Matthew Wood out of this one, sitting in pit road right now, is going to have a lot of repairs. We don't expect to see him back on the racetrack. So Danny Roberts not quite up as far as we thought he would be, but he still has a little bit of time to get his car up against that wall, protect that P1 position. And we'll restart and head into lap 8. So our Rough RT12 pace car is going to pull off. And Danny Roberts is going to leave that outside lane a little bit open. Green flag's back in the air here at the Twin Ring. See Tim Silliman trying to mount an attack on leader Danny Roberts. Going to kind of arc the corner and get a pretty decent run down the back straightaway. Head to the outside of Danny Roberts and trying to take that lead on the back straightaway. The front 3, nose to tail. And Zach Buchanan pushes a little bit of understeer on the inside of Tim Silliman there, but going to hold on to it. But Silliman's going to get the slipstream down the front straight and go for a pass on the outside again, swing out wide. And try to roll that high lane, as we were talking about earlier during practice. And maybe try to do the undercut. Not going to happen. Going to roll that outside lane again.
And Zach Buchanan is just trying to pick a side he wants to choose. He's not sure if he wants to go with Danny Roberts or Tim Silliman.
Whoa! A little bit of a defensive move there by Tim, or maybe just try to jump in the line and grab a little bit of slipstream, but came right across the nose of Buchanan. This battle for the front 3 is definitely the one we're going to keep an eye on for now. But here's Jackson Robillard trying to chase down Stephen Larkamp and Johnny Eckers right in that battle as well. And up front, Robert's still trying to defend Tim Silliman and Zach Buchanan.
Yeah, this is kind of almost a picture-perfect copy of what happened last race. So Danny Roberts trying to hold the inside, but he seemed to let Tim Silliman get ahead of him there. And Silliman's going to take the lead.
Tim Silliman's going to slide around underneath Danny Roberts for the lead. And I don't think Roberts going to let that happen for too long. He's going to go right back down to the inside. Meanwhile, Tanner Watkins has moved up into 4th. And there's Roberts back down to the inside again, going to take that spot right back. Very strong here at Motegi early in the running. Woo! Zach Buchanan got a little close to the wall off turn 4, but there's Tim Silman duking and diving all over the place to try to get by Roberts all over again. We'll wear each other out early in the going here. Last week it was Watkins and Roberts. This week it's Silman and Roberts. Side by side once again for the lead. Best battle on the racetrack at the moment. Oh, wow! That was so close there. With Silman and Roberts, they are treating each other with lots of respect, but being very racy. You see Silman's going to get to the inside and take the spot back once again. Kind of doing the fake maneuver, kind of sliding his car back and forth. And there's Danny Roberts with a slipstream well over 215 miles an hour back down to the inside. And Silman going to be relegated back to P2, but not going to give it up too easily. These guys are giving each other the inside lane now, but here's Johnny Eckert battling here with Jackson Robillard. And I believe it's also Kyle Pokerkey in the 77 behind him. Pokerkey's driving the Menards Chevrolet for KP Motorsports. And Johnny Eckert in the 90 is the Lufthansa Achievement Hunter 5-Hour Energy NASA vehicle for Outlaw Racing. A lot of sponsors on that car. And Aaron Bean side by side with Johnny Parham, the new entry this week. And out up front, they're still battling for the lead. This is just like Homestead. Really clean, respectful racing out of the 41 week after week. We saw this last... Ooh, see Buchanan maybe got a piece of the wall there, but here comes Tim Silman to the outside, squeezing between the wall and the 41 of Roberts. Gonna try to roll that outside lane again.
He can almost seem to make it work if he can just get the run. I think, yep, he's gonna get the run, but I don't know if he can really complete the pass.
Let's ride on board with Tim Silman for the lap. See Silman trying to work that groove behind Danny Roberts and try to get that slipstream down the straightaways. 207, 210, 212, 213, 214, speeding up in the corners. These Indy cars are wild. Oh, over a bad bounce there, going to slip up the racetrack on the exit of turn 2. The lead for now has kind of cycled out and given Roberts the biggest and most comfortable lead he's had so far on lap 18.
It seems like these guys are gonna just get themselves sorted out. And just gonna follow the line.
Ooh, battle back here with Matthew Dugan, Johnny Eckert, Chris Spadorf, and Aaron Bean also in this one. Aaron Bean in the 20. Aaron Bean is driving the Smithfield Foods Chevrolet for Trash Panda Motorsport. I love that team name. I can't get over how awesome that is. Oh, we got to pass here Dugan to the inside of Eckert.
These guys almost went 3 wide there.
That was close. There might have been some netcode contact there. But it's going to send Bean a little backwards.
And they're 3 wide down the front stretch. See if Dugan can get it. Not quite.
3 wide. Oh, there's some tight racing here. To the inside comes Matthew Dugan. Trying to get that spot also away from... that's not Chris Badorf there. Dugan's the lead battle. Oh, that's going to be tight there. That was close quarters racing down the front straightaway once more. Matthew Dugan leading that group right now, with Chris Badorf and Johnny Eckert right there on top of each other. Chris Badorf has the Gordon Food Service and Sirius XM Petro Canada UPS Honda. A lot of sponsors on some of these cars. Looking at the entry list for these drivers, so got a lot of sponsorship, which is a good thing in motorsports. This battle has not ceased yet. Meanwhile, up front, Danny Roberts has extended his lead to 0.3 of a second. See, Baedorf, where's that Eckert now?
Oh, that is Baedorf.
That's Baedorf. They're working the outside lane in the 21 car.
Ooh.
And going to take that spot away.
Almost chopped his nose off.
So Johnny Eckert going to be down to 12th. Started 7th, so a couple spots dropped down for Johnny Eckert. Meanwhile, Steven Larkamp battling with Jackson Robillard in the 98. Robillard driving the Heisingfeld Honda. I can never pronounce that company correctly. For Cordis Sim Racing. And Steven Larkamp in the 62, the Gap SRT Honda for Gap SRT Racing.
And Jackson Robillard was trying to work the inside there, couldn't get the move done. He's going to drop back and try to draft back up.
98 attacking the 62 early off in this one, and Robillard up 2 spots from his starting position in 10th. Up front, a half a second lead now for Danny Roberts, so that has not changed. A little bit bigger than it was. But Roberts is taking advantage of the clean air out there on the front wing. And has kind of started to run away a little bit, and that last time by about 100th quicker than second place Tim Silliman. It'll be the 25% mark when we get back to the start-finish line here, Finny. This race is ticking by quickly. One caution on lap 4 for a crashing Matthew Wood, who is out of the race officially and retired. You know, Chris Sweat on pit road, he's been there for a little while now. Probably some crash damage there from some other incident. But he is about 4 laps down now and will continue to go more laps down as this race is on. Tanner Watkins has dropped back down to 5th place, and as we look at Will Roberts and Dylan Gooden side by side here for 16th. Roberts didn't race last week as he is the he runs ISDC, and last week
he did race.
Oh, did he race last week?
He did race.
Oh, okay, that's right.
He ran out of fuel in the last lap.
I knew that. We're so good. Okay, well, there was 26 cars that we had to send some drivers home last week, but he's here again, not quite having the run he was having at Homestead, but really his lead at Homestead was kind of the fuel strategy game. So,
which he and some of these other guys are playing. In fact, Roberts, Gooden, Wenzen, Martin, Wilco, and Ross, and even Dixon are all playing they've already pitted, so they have about 5 to 6 laps of extra fuel in the tank than the rest of these guys do. So, depending on how this whole cycle's out, they might end up in the front.
Yeah, that's interesting to note. You see Dylan Gooden there getting a little slideways off the corner and got Will Roberts hot on his tail. Roberts going to run to the high side now, try to get around him up there. Looking out underneath the rear wing of the 75 with Gooden. So, differing fuel strategies.
Whoa!
Whoa! Roberts just went for a full send there. And he's going to lose a spot to Cody Wenzen in the 67. We're on board with the Sparco Hands Cam. I want to thank Sparco for their support of the SimTV broadcasts. I also want to thank Justin Richardson for helping us out with that. Justin Richardson races over in the SCARS League and has helped us out a lot with several aspects of our broadcast. We want to give a special shout out to him. Again, links to Sparco's website can be found in the video description. And this battle is heating up with Wenzen, Gooden, and now I think... Got some drivers on pit road there, Finian.
Yep, and everyone is just about making a stop, so on lap 31.
Yep, so I assume we're going to see the whole field come down as we've reached our pit window. And we're going to start to see more. So Matthew Dugan on pit road, Chris Baedorf, Tyler Tucker, and more on pit road. And now Danny Roberts is going to jump into pit road from the lead, and he's going to drag Chris Gutierrez with him. So Tim Silliman will take the lead for the time being, and Zach McCann is also going to stay out on the racetrack. He's 7 tenths behind Silliman, and Steven Larkamp just behind them. And Tanner Watkins has not also made his pit stop. It looks like he's going to make his pit stop this time by.
Yeah, these guys really need to try to stretch out their fuel as long as they can. And Tim Silliman's actually surprisingly going a lot longer than I thought.
If he can do this on one more run, he only has to make 2 pit stops.
Yeah, so he's trying to work that out, but I'm wondering if he's going to end up running out of fuel.
He wasn't a slipstream for a lot of the run, though.
Yeah, that's probably what's helping him. But yeah, nearly every other car came down pit road.
Yeah, so Tanner Watkins, Jackson Robillard, and Tim Stillman stay out on the racetrack. And Zach Buchanan, Stephen Larkamp, Kyle Prokopke, Johnny Eckert, Alex Bofoli, and others are coming in now. But Tim Stillman makes it back to pit road, and has made it 33 laps, so they can only make 2 pit stops. Impressive fuel mileage by the 39. Now, hopefully, they can hold on to that same kind of fuel mileage for the rest of the race.
Yeah, and granted, also, if they do keep up this pace, they might end up 1 lap short, so they will have to save that extra lap of fuel. Meanwhile, these guys up front here do not really have to worry about that. They're definitely on the 2 stop.
Yeah, but they will lose their track position at some point during the race because they still have to make 2 more stops, and drivers like Tim Stillman might only have to make 1. But you see Cody Wenzen, Dylan Gooden, and Will Roberts. Actually, these are some lap drivers here. But Cody Wenzen in the 67 leading. Wenzen had the fuel strategy run afoul last week. There's Dylan Gooden in the 75 for Castle Motors for Trash Panda Motorsport. Running P2 right now. So a little bit different strategy. So we expect to see them on pit road shortly?
Yes, I would probably say around lap 38 to lap 42 we'll probably see them start to come in.
And then they can definitely make it. But I still think that drivers like Tim Stillman and Tanner Watkins will be in a good position if there's another yellow. So they can just push that clutch in and just save a little bit of fuel. They don't really have to save a whole lot, just that extra lap. And we're working lap 36 now, so we're over the third of the way done. You see Will Roberts there battling some lap traffic. So it looks like we have 9 cars on the lead lap right now. Everyone else is strapped 1 lap down. So if the caution comes out now, whoa, we got to see Cody Wenzen go way low. Here he comes to pit road. But if the caution were to come out now, he'd be in pretty good shape. But it looks like he's going to make it to pit road before that happens. Down to pit road comes Cody Wenzen to see if he's going to drag in Dylan Gooden and Will Roberts. He does! Roberts slides on pit entry! Wow, he didn't even hit the pit cone. That was awesome driving by Will Roberts.
That takes some talent.
He maximized his pit entry speed there. That's about as fast as you can get into a pit road without knocking the wall over. So Roberts going to take advantage of his quick entry. And Cody Wenzen lead pit road. Danny Roberts gets his lead back, and now it is extended over 3 seconds over the 55 of Tyler Tucker. And Tyler Tucker driving the Royal Purple Polara. And there's Zach Buchanan in third, and he's kind of been there most of the day so far.
Someone lost quite a few positions. I'm thinking it's because they stayed out a little bit too long on fuel. They either ran out of fuel, or I think guys were able to pull the undercut by those 2 those 2 or 3 laps that ended up staying out extra.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Probably hurted them in the end.
Not really sure how much the tires are worth here, but they're probably worth enough that could lose you a couple spots, especially how close the racing was. See Zach Buchanan taking over 2nd place from Tyler Tucker, and Chris Gutierrez has moved his way up into 4th, so he's been there. He's had a pretty good run so far in the number 2 for the Verizon Chevrolet. And Buchanan and Tucker still swapping spots for 2nd place, but while they're doing this, Danny Roberts is checking out a 3.4 second lead. Running on board now with Chris Gutierrez. See, the slipstream's worth 212 miles an hour. So Chris Gutierrez kind of been here most of the day. Started 5th and is currently running 4th. But he's trying to move up a couple spots, and he has the 3rd and 2nd place cars there for him. See if he sits on it or if he makes a move. It looks like he's going to run a little bit high, try to cut it down on the exit of the corner. And we're going to lose a little bit of ground, but we're going to use that slipstream to get right back up to the rear wing of Tyler Tucker in the 55. If you're just joining us, we're about halfway through the 2018 Gridshare World Series here at Motegi, the Firestone Firehawks 300. Current leader Danny Roberts by 3.4 seconds over Zach Buchanan, Tyler Tucker, and Chris Gutierrez. 100 laps around here in Motegi, Japan. And Tucker and Buchanan battling just like Silliman and Roberts in the early going. It seems pretty hard to get away from somebody once you make a pass.
Yeah, you really have to escape the draft, which is what Danny Roberts managed to pull off to a great effect. He just has a 3-second lead, and he doesn't have to worry about guys constantly trying to get up on him and passing him. He can just run his own race. So definitely these guys want to try to get organized, although I do think they might be catching them with this slingshot passing that we did see last week. So I'm guessing that's their strategy.
They have actually caught him just a little bit, and last time by they were a tenth quicker. So good strategy here, and I think you're correct, Finney. I think they are kind of working that rubber band strategy to try to, yeah, you can see it there. I think they're definitely helping each other out, not fighting these positions too much. And now they've eaten into that lead by about 0.4 of a second, and we'll see what the lap times were last time by, again, a tenth quicker. So, and they ran identical lap times, 27.041, down to the thousandth.
Amazing.
So they're doing well right now. They actually have a quicker best lap than the leader Danny Roberts. That lead is now down to 2.9 seconds. Here we're taking a look at Jackson Robillard trying to pass Matthew Dugan. And those guys are battling it out for 7th spot. It's very respectful, clean racing so far. A lot of room given tonight. Which I imagine, whoa, there was some tight, close racing there on the entry to the corner. But I suspect after the penalties from last week, drivers are maybe a little bit hesitant to throw the car in there and do something they probably shouldn't do. Other notable, as we see Dugan and Robillard still battling, Tanner Watkins is still to 10th through all this. So not quite having the run he was having earlier in the race, but we expect him to see him climb up a little bit farther. See Dugan sliding to the outside of Robillard.
Wow, almost a bullet.
He didn't really give himself a whole lot of room there, and while this battle is happening, we can tell you that the lead has come down to 2.6 seconds. Got a caution on the racetrack, and it is Will Roberts in the 7th. Oh, yeah, that car is toast.
I'm honestly amazed he can actually drive it. So let's see if we can catch that.
Yeah, so Will Roberts wrecked out early in this one. The number 7 Speedway Toyota for 703 Racing. You see him closing in on this battle here, and someone bounced off the wall and clipped him, and that might have been Jared Dixon in the 60, and I believe it was. We could get another look at that, see if it's the 60 car of Jared Dixon. Oh, that was not Jared Dixon, so who was that? Red car. Phil Clark. Oh, wow.
Oh, he went for a tumble.
Phil Clark went for a tumble as well. So Phil Clark in the 25. The Adidas Ford for Team Rigshare caused that one, got a little tight off the corner, came off the wall, and tagged Will Roberts and both of their days prematurely. So I apologize to Jared Dixon for thinking that was him. We're just looking at our timing screen trying to figure out who that was. And then Danny Roberts will lead the field down to pit road, and this kind of throws away all that fuel strategy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely throws it all away. So pretty much if everyone pits now, it will be a one-stop race to the end.
So that is going to mean that the fuel strategy that Cody Wenzen was playing around with earlier, not going to work out for him so far. The positions are going to swap around as these guys are in the pits. We'll see who pops out where. Now, can you short fuel the car here and maybe try to get an advantage on the racetrack?
Well, yeah, you can definitely get a few seconds on the car, because typically in an IndyCar pit stop, your tires go on faster than your gas does. So if you don't need the extra bit of fuel at the end, if you do your math right, you can chop off a few seconds on your pit stop to help you get a few more positions.
So off pit road, Danny Roberts, Zach Buchanan, Tyler Tucker, Chris Gutierrez, and Tim Silliman going to maintain their spots. Speaking of gas, Finian, how about the gas cam? Every week we like to throw into some stupid camera, looking at some stupid scenery object. There is gas, one of the gas pumps here in Motegi.
That was a great segue. I gotta give you props for that.
We have the Sheepfoot cam coming up at Eldora next week from 3-Wide Racing, so you can't wait to see that one. We had Cactus Cam last night in the Scars race at Phoenix. You can find that race on our YouTube channel from last night. So up front, not much has changed. Steven Larkamp has moved into 6th. Robillard's going to beat Dugan off pit road and take 7th place. Kyle Pokripke is going to move up to 9th. Tanner Watkins still hanging around there in 10th. Then you got Johnny Eckert, Aaron Bean, Cody Wenzen, Johnny Parham, and John Martin round out the rest of your top 15. So far out of the race we have Phil Clark, Jared Dixon, although he's out of the racetrack still, just 3 laps down. Will Roberts, Chris Sweat, and Matthew Wood. Matthew Wood is the only one officially retired. Everyone else is still kind of hanging around getting repairs. I doubt we'll see Chris Sweat, Will Roberts, and Phil Clark back out, but Jared Dixon is on the racetrack again with him. Danny Roberts in that bright red Ferrari paint scheme 41 has been in commanding lead of this. Has led most of the lap so far. And with the completion of this lap, we're going to be halfway through Firestone Firehawk 300.
Yeah, definitely been an exciting race, especially with the strategy earlier on. At this rate, it doesn't seem like strategy is going to be less important and more of just how well you are driving the car.
And I think that really plays into Danny Roberts' hands. Got really beat on strategy last week. Probably should have won that race, but he kind of ran out of fuel a couple laps to go, and he threw a wrench into that one, and Roberts finished farther down than he would have liked. But led most of the race, 83 laps last week, and has led most of the race this week so far. So Roberts hopefully doesn't have to deal with the strategy game anymore this week. The Rough RT12 pace car leads them around, and you see Jared Dixon is one of those cars behind the pace car. He's probably going to get the wave around here. There he goes. And John Wilco in the 80, the other car that's going to get the wave around. John Wilco in the Ryobi Tools Pontiac for All Smiles Racing. As they're going to work their way around, catch the tail of the field, we have 1 lap back to green, so we'll restart on lap 52 of 100. About 23 minutes left in this race if it stays green from here.
It's kind of amazing how fast these laps do tick by.
They are quick. 26-second laps, about what you see at like Dover in NASCAR or something. Pretty quick laps. They tick off very quickly around here in these Indy cars, averaging around 200 miles an hour even through the corners. So recap on that last yellow, Phil Clark in the 25 understeered into the wall off of turn 4 and collected an unfortunate Will Roberts, tagging him and sending Phil Clark for a wild ride down the front straightaway pit wall, coming to rest and ending the race for both of those drivers. So Jared Dixon is 3 laps down still, but Jeff Gross in the 97 is 1 lap down, 19 cars on the lead lap. The last of those is Dylan Gooden in the 75 for Castle Motors. And off of the final corner, Roberts not protecting the outside line there, and I'm a little bit surprised by that. As we go back to green, see Zach Buchanan being pretty nice there, tucking in behind him.
Yeah, I'm guessing Roberts wanted to take the inside so he can hold the inside line, as Tim Stillman's going to make the pass on Gutierrez.
Tim Stillman on the move early on this restart, right up on the tail underneath the rear wing of Tyler Tucker in the 55 Royal Purple Dallara. Into turn 3, Zach Buchanan's going to nose ahead of Danny Roberts. The first challenge we've seen in a little while. Roberts going to understeer a little bit off of turn 4. As we complete lap 52, Zach Buchanan's going to actually take the lead away. So strong move by Buchanan on the outside, going to cut down right in front of the nose of Roberts on corner entry. Really trusted his spotter there. And here comes Tyler Tucker in the 55. He wants to save for the lead. Danny Roberts back down to the inside to see if he can complete that pass, and he does. But Buchanan's going to have a hell of a run off the corner and going to go look back to the outside. 2 wide for third behind them. And Tim Stillman's going to take the spot away from the 55 of Tucker. And here comes Chris Gutierrez in the 2 car.
Yeah, he wants a piece of this action as well. He's trying to get up there, and it seems like Tucker's going to cut back on the inside.
2 by 2, first, second, and fourth and fifth, with Tim Stillman splitting up those battles. And Roberts going to clear Zach Buchanan once more, but Buchanan is not done yet. And Tim Stillman is working their way into the battle. Buchanan is going to try to do the over-under here out of turn 2. And slide around to the outside and look again. This is kind of what Tim Stillman was doing earlier with Roberts. And this battle can definitely wear out your tires, but we haven't really seen this be Roberts' weak spot. He can hold that bottom line lap after lap after lap and not lose that lead.
You're definitely showing the dominance he showed last week at Homestead. So, hoping that nothing goes wrong for him, he definitely looks like the car to beat.
Definitely the car to beat here. You see Buchanan now under attack from Tim Silliman in the number 39 car, the rig share machine. So the battle is now on for second. And behind them, it's like Robillard, Larkamp, and Gutierrez. Gutierrez slipped back a couple spots after his initial charge up forward. And here comes Matthew Dugan in the 06. Whoa! That was really close. Might have been a little bit of contact there.
I showed Dugan to let off the throttle so he can not end up hitting Gutierrez. But that could end up very ugly for both.
So Dugan in the 06 has worked his way up to 8th from his 21st place starting spot. So again, just like at Homestead, Dugan flying through the field. Not really great at qualifying. You see Kyle Pokaki in the 77 Menards Dallara try to get underneath him there and can't quite slip underneath. But Dugan up several spots, 13 positions en route to his current 8th place running. Out front, Roberts and Buchanan still separated by about 0.4 of a second. Tyler Tucker looking to the inside of Buchanan. Oh, that's so tight. You really don't want to drift up. Oh, and there's going to be contact there. That was so close.
You guys are not friendly to each other.
My voice is higher than a prepubescent teen watching these guys race side by side here. Just so close and so clean. I mean, only 2 cautions in 59 laps with racing like this is pretty incredible. We work our way on to lap 60. Steven Larkamp has moved his way up into 5th. He started 8th and kind of got mired back in 10th or so for a little while and has kind of started his charge forward. And again, Zach Buchanan under attack from the 55 of Tucker, who is not giving this spot a rest.
These guys really want it, but all the while, Roberts is just lurking just a bit further ahead every time these guys go side by side. It kills both of their momentum.
See Tucker in the 55, that royal purple car. Love the paint scheme on that car. Purple and yellow is a great color combination. You see him dive into the inside of the 40 of Buchanan again. And not going to be able to complete that pass on the inside. Meanwhile, for 5th, Larkamp and Robillard side by side, and Robillard's going to tuck in behind Larkamp. And Larkamp will maintain his 5th place, and he's closing in on Tim Silliman, who's a hard charger early in the run, but has slipped back just a little bit into the clutches of your previous champion, Steven Larkamp. And Buchanan really went in there for a charge, going to drift up, almost gets into the side of Tyler Tucker. But Tucker now has a preferred line on the outside lane to be able to roll that high side and carry that momentum into the corner. And he's going to take that second spot away, see if he can run down the leader of Roberts.
Yeah, meanwhile, while this is going on, just looking back, Larkamp's just lurking back there, ready to make a move on these up ahead should something go wrong with these guys.
Larkamp is lurking. Here he comes. But wow, Tim Silliman got a really good run off turn 4. And he's closing in on Buchanan. They have, their last lap was a 27.0 to Buchanan's 27.2. So 0.2 quicker. You see Gutierrez popping out of line there, and that's a battle with Pokaki and Dugan. And Gutierrez has started a quick slide backwards after battling 4th on the restart. There's Dugan closing in a Robillard for 6th. A lot of comers and goers in this race. And Robillard's going to slide underneath Dugan on the exit. These guys have been battling for several laps now. Again, Dugan started 21st and has moved his way all the way up into 6th now. So Dugan still making his climb forward, having to battle Gutierrez for that spot as well as Robillard. Meanwhile, we saw Jeff Gruss enter pit, that was Jared Dixon back on pit lane, now 4 laps down, so we want to just give you an update on that. So Dixon continues to drop laps as we see a battle for the lead here with Roberts and Tucker side by side, and Tucker has run Roberts down and also dragged Zach Buchanan with him. We have a battle for the lead, and here he comes, a huge run off the corner, and he's going to clear Roberts heading into turn 1.
Yeah, that was an incredible run that he had. Definitely made the most of it.
I think Roberts might have just understeered a little bit. You see Roberts drifting up a little bit. He's been stuck to that white line. You see him drifting up a little bit. I wonder if his tires are starting to go after running that quick line.
I think that's kind of what we're going to see happen as Buchanan now dives to the bottom. Oh, no, sorry. Roberts was diving to the bottom there.
And Roberts can take that spot back, but here comes Tucker again, rolling that outside lane, carrying a ton of momentum. And here comes Buchanan into the mix, into turn 1. A great three-way battle for the lead, and Tim Sullivan is just stalking this group right now. A half a second behind. Side by side for the lead contact, a little bit of carbon fiber scraping there. And Roberts and Tucker are going to trade spots again. We're looking on board from Tim Sullivan from just behind this group and catching quickly as the battle for the lead rages on. And Buchanan's going to follow in Danny Roberts. Got to watch the arrow push here. But Tyler Tucker is going to roll that high side again and get around get around Buchanan. Roberts has taken the lead back though, and is kind of squirted away from Tucker.
Tucker definitely showing he has the car to do it. We haven't seen anything too crazy out of him. He's been really conserved, but definitely showing his pace now where it matters.
Yeah, we really thought Roberts would be the car to beat, but I'm thinking now that 55 is just a little bit quicker. But it's one thing to catch a driver, a whole other thing to pass him, as we see Tucker try to stalk Danny Roberts again. Again, Roberts has been stuck to that bottom line and has not really moved off of it. And Tucker has been rolling a little bit higher up on the racetrack, maybe preserving tires just a little bit better. And we are going to be closing in on pit stops soon.
I was going to say, guys might start coming to pit stops in about 2 to 3 laps. And usually you might see guys try to, I would imagine that most of these guys are gonna try to cut the stint in half so they can maximize the amount of tires.
Well, you can make it from here. And as we see, just as I say that, John Wilco in the 80 is on pit road. So we might see some early comers here to try to undercut some other drivers they were battling. Meanwhile, Alex Buffoli in the 08 going to be out of the race 6 laps down. So we have 4 retirements, the 08, the 25, the 7, the 07, and the 65. 20 cars on the racetrack, 19 on the lead lap. We've got a battle for lead still. Tucker and Roberts not giving each other up. Wow, Roberts used up Tucker a little bit there. And here comes Buchanan. Oh, that was close.
That ended up ugly.
That was a lapper, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the 19 of Wilco. Or excuse me, the 80, who's in 19th place. That was really close.
I think you got a little too much excitement out of that.
Who came out? And as Tucker continues to mount his attack, we see Tim Sullivan going to try to undercut these guys on pit road. Going to drop down to 17th, and Stephen Larkamp has jumped up, and Zach Buchanan's coming to pit road to make his stop as well. So now we're seeing, and here comes Tanner Watkins in the 3 car, also on pit road. And Roberts and Tucker are still side by side. We've got to figure out when these guys are going to pit now. Because if they're racing side by side, and let's say Tucker wants to get to pit road, he's going to have to give up that lead, the nose ahead he has to get to the pits. And looks like he might... Nope, he's going to stay out another lap. Here comes Stephen Larkamp in the 62. Aggressive pit road entry. He's going to bring it in. And Tucker and Roberts continue to battle. I definitely think Tucker's got the car to beat. At the moment, you see him get in the slipstream here. Going to look to the outside. Roberts going to move up in front of him, which is legal. You can make a move. Make one move to defend your position, which Roberts did. You just can't make you can't make 2 moves. Well, that's all fair there. Once you establish your line on the racetrack, you can't deviate from it more than once. And Jackson Robillard in the 98 is going to hit pit road, as well as Aaron Bean and Chris Badorf.
Yeah, I'm surprised these guys are staying out as much as they are. You know, you think one of them would try to undercut the other to get a bit of an advantage, but these guys are, I guess, having too much fun racing each other.
The other thing is, I think from Tucker's perspective, he does not want to let the 41 get away from him. And I think just by following him, you can ensure that gap stays the same. If you undercut him, you run the risk of maybe screwing up your pit stop or your pit road entry, and that can let Roberts get away. You see them still battling. But I think what Tucker's just trying to do is maintain that gap and not let Roberts get ahead of him on a strategic call.
And for reference, here's Zach Buchanan, who's leading the cars that have come out of the pits. He's right behind these guys. He's a lap down.
Chris Gutierrez also on pit road this time by, as well as Matthew Dugan. And see Tucker go with a pretty good run down the back straight. Can't quite get a nose ahead of Roberts. Roberts moves up again for the corner entry. He is really taking advantage of all the racetrack he's given. They're going to work through some lap traffic now. So working lap 79 would be 20 to go in 2 laps. And you got to think that these guys are close to running out. What was their stint? How long have they been out here for? Let's see, they've been out there for 30 laps, so they have to come soon. And I think Roberts and Tucker are going to come this time by. There they are down on the apron.
Yeah, they cut it close there because I believe they are supposed to be entering before turn 3. So Roberts cut that really close as he saw Tucker dive in. So he thought, I might as well do that. So now the big question on my mind is, where is... Looking for the driver now. Zach Buchanan. So he just unlapped himself from these guys on pit road. So we're going to have to see where he comes out.
Yeah, so...
Because he's in the draft right now, and he did call the undercut. So
yep, and pit lane from start to finish takes about 35 seconds. So we expect this to be a close one, as the lap times are 26. And with the entrance to pit road and the exit road, it might slow you down just a little bit. And they're going to pull off pit road, Danny Roberts and Tyler Tucker. But here comes Buchanan, and he's going to fly past both of them.
And there's the undercut at work.
So Zach Buchanan is going to take the lead away, and with a commanding lead, actually. 1.3, 1.4 seconds. And Tim Silliman also working that undercut, and also Stephen Larkamp going to break up that battle. So again, strategy is going to hurt the 41 of Roberts. He's going to have to go up there and just take it from some of these other guys. Also noted Dylan Gooden out up front right now in the 75. And I'm not sure... Oh, he's coming to pit road right now, so that answers that question. And cycle out, Zach Buchanan in the lead. That battle for second, though, is raging.
Yeah, so while Zach Buchanan does have this lead now, these guys behind him do have a bit of fresher tires.
Ooh.
As you can see, Robert's putting those fresher tires to work there. So it is only a minor difference, but every little difference can count.
Yeah, so Robert's going to take over second place, but he has to run down Zach Buchanan from 1.6 seconds back, as well as hold off Tim Silliman and Tyler Tucker. And Stephen Larkamp is trying to enter this battle too. And as you see, Roberts here having to battle Tim Silliman. And Buchanan's loving this in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, what they're really going to have to do is what we saw earlier, is that little kind of switching of the cars, using the draft to your full advantage to get the most speed and the shortest lap time out. So these guys can end up working together. They can have a shot at the win.
And actually, that's what they did the last time by, whether or not it was on purpose. They've closed in 2/10 on the leader. But you see Tim Silliman a little bit tight off the corner. Now going to battle Roberts just a little bit. And here comes the 55 of Tucker. That gap shrinking just a little bit. Now down to 1.35 seconds.
Yeah, these guys can get within about 9 to 8 tenths of a second. They should be able to get to the draft with the car ahead. So that's what Roberts should be aiming for, as he's almost pulling away from Silliman.
Roberts has eaten into that lead a tenth quicker last time by. The lead is now 1.1 seconds now. And he will have time to get there if he keeps going, because he's going to be within draft range really quick. Now 0.9 seconds. That lead to 4 tenths faster last time. But you see Jackson Robillard under attack from Chris Gutierrez in the 2 Horizon Chevrolet. And Robillard's going to give that spot to Chris Gutierrez. And Zach Buchanan, his lead is dwindling quickly as Danny Roberts is running him down. And Roberts is running down.
Roberts had to check up a bit there from a lap car. That's going to hurt his momentum.
Oof.
But definitely want to cue the Jaws music here, as Roberts is hunting Zach down.
And Tim Silliman side by side here for third with Tyler Tucker. Rig share versus Royal Purple. And that's going to end that battle for now. Tucker's going to take over third in the 55. Now the lead is now come down to 4 tenths of a second. See, Roberts running actually a little bit higher line than we're used to seeing him do. Let's ride on board with him here and see what his line is for turn 1 here. A little bit higher.
Ooh, there's a car that was wrecked.
Let's see, who was that? Maybe Dylan Gooden. No, he's in the pits now. Dylan Gooden.
No, I think he was because he reset.
Oh, so Dylan Gooden out of this one. Not quite sure what happened to him, but his car's off track. And now with the battle for the lead, there's no gap left. Danny Roberts is right under the rear wing of Zach Buchanan. And we're going to have 13 laps to go this time by. These guys battled earlier. Let's see if Buchanan can hold off 41 of Roberts. And let's see if Tyler Tucker can get back into the mix here. He's closing in on this group.
Yeah, if he can just hit his line perfectly, and you can try to, and these guys battle it out, he should be able to get that.
See Roberts looking high, kind of arcing down into the corner. That's a great strategy. Kind of a good mix between the high and low line. You get the momentum from the high line and get a short route of the low line. You can see him here looking high. Buchanan's going to go defensive. See, Roberts going to have a heck of a run down the back straight. Looking to the inside of Buchanan. Buchanan's going to give it to him. Buchanan's going to try to roll that high lane, but that's not going to happen. And those fresh tires from Roberts look to be prevailing just a little bit. But here comes Buchanan looking to the inside again.
Okay, really aggressive and nice job of him putting the nose in there.
He put it in there all right. Now he's going to have to defend Buchanan again on the back straight, but
I'm surprised that he's letting Roberts get the inside line. I would think he would try to hold the inside line as much as he could. Because that is definitely the preferred line, but it seems to be working for him.
See if Buchanan is going to make a run around the inside. No, he's going to stay to the high side here. And we're going to have 10 laps to go at the line. So Buchanan's surrendered the lead to the 41 of Roberts, who's led most of this race. But this battle is definitely not over. As you see, it's still side by side for the lead. On board with the 55 of Tucker and the Royal Purple 55. And Buchanan is fighting a losing battle here, I think, but if he can just get one good run and be able to defend, he's still got a shot at this. But Roberts has just been out driving people all night on the bottom.
Definitely, I think if Tucker can get up there, he'd hit on the same lap as Roberts, so his tires are just as fresh, so he can just get up into the draft. And he's getting there ever so closely. He can definitely put a fight for these guys.
You see Buchanan went to the inside but couldn't quite get his nose underneath Roberts, but Roberts a little bit high out of turn 4. This battle's not over yet, but I'm going to give the advantage to Roberts right now. We have 8 laps to go. Kind of in a commanding lead now, and it's kind of forcing Buchanan to get creative. And that lead is now 0.2 of a second. A little bit of lap traffic. That's Jared Dixon in the 60 car. Yep, still 0.2 of a second and not really changing a whole lot. But Buchanan's still within close enough distance, but you can just see him. Looks like he's just understeering and can't keep the car pinned to that apron like Danny Roberts can. And Danny Roberts, who's doing this at Homestead too, he's been able to keep those left side tires on the apron for the entirety of a run, something we haven't seen anybody else be able to do.
Yeah, he's just been somehow able to make it work. And you're going to see Buchanan fall to the clutches of Tyler Tucker. And it seems like Roberts might be in a good position for this win.
And Danny Roberts definitely is in a good spot. He's got about a 0.6 of a second lead. And Tyler Tucker is going to take over P2 from Buchanan and see if Buchanan is going to contest it. He does. Oh, that's going to be tight. A little bit of understeer from Buchanan, and Tucker is going to roll that outside lane and take over a second spot. Buchanan's safe there in third for a little while. Got a little ways back to the 39 of Silliman. But kind of running out of time for Tyler Tucker to reel in the 41 of Roberts. And not really close enough to get a huge influence on the slipstream.
Yeah, he's gonna need probably a lap car to help slow up Roberts, but I don't think that might happen.
So 4 laps to go this time by. We'll look at the lap times. 27.0 to a 27.1. Danny Roberts has the advantage, now an 0.8 of a second lead. And Buchanan's trying to come back and take that spot, but again, I just don't think Buchanan's got the tire.
No, yeah, I think his car is. He definitely the pressure tires helped him out earlier in the run, but yeah, I think by now they're just faded and he can't keep up with these guys up kind of later.
And back a ways a little bit, we got Robillard and Pokerkey there side by side. That's for 7th spot. With 3 laps to go, see if they can sort this one out. Oh, that's tight. A little bit of understeer from Robillard, and Pokerkey's going to have to slide up the racetrack to avoid contact, but Pokerkey's going to win that battle and move himself up into 7th. Now, last time by, I'm going to sneeze here. Hold on, don't do it, Kyle. Last time by, Tyler Tucker was a 10th quicker than Danny Roberts, but that's not going to be quick enough. We've got a yellow. Caution is out. And who is it? Oh, it's going to be Johnny Parham in the 51 in 14th spot. Upside down. And that is going to hand the victory to the 41 of Danny Roberts. And we'll take a look at what happened to the 51 of Parham. Oh, gets understeered into, and I can't remember what car that is.
I believe that is Chris Bador.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Chris Bador from the 21. Yep, the Gord Food and Service machine. And a little bit of understeer in the final moments of this one. Going to end Johnny Parham's race. But that means that Danny Roberts in the 41 is going to be able to drive home and coast to victory in the Ferrari. And Tyler Tucker is going to bring home P2. Zach Buchanan, Tim Silman, Stephen Larkamp running out your top 5. Chris Gutierrez, solid finish in 6th, and Kyle Pokerkey going to finish 7th in the 77. Jackson Robillard, Matthew Dugan, what a drive by him to move up 12 spots from 21st to 9th. I did my math right, in the 06. And Tanner Watkins going to round out your top 10. So your finishing order is going to be on the left-hand side of the screen there, barring any final moment drama. And checkered flag is in the air. And this one will end under caution. It'll be our 3rd yellow of the night. And Zach Buchanan is going to take home 3rd, Tyler Tucker 2nd, and Danny Roberts going to win this one.
Yeah, definitely earned that win. Solid job by him all day, just dominating the bottom line and just having complete control over the race.
And after last week, the heartbreak of running out of fuel just a few laps ago, I think Roberts definitely earned this one. He probably deserved to win last week, too. But a couple other drivers were able to take advantage of the strategy. And we thought midway through this one that the strategy might have actually hurt Roberts, but was able to climb right back through the field all the way from 5th after the pit stop and come back and take that victory. So Danny Roberts in the bright red Ferrari. And coast around on the apron. And great effort by Tyler Tucker in the 55. Good showing by him today in that Royal Purple Dallara. And Roberts going to bring it to pit road and head to victory lane. All right, Finney, 100 laps here at the Twin Ring Motegi, and what a battle it was. Danny Roberts in the 41 wins it with Tyler Tucker in the 55, coming home 2nd place. So we're going to try to get those top 3, and we'll try to interview someone else as well. We'll try to pull up the other drivers. We'll decide on that in a little bit. We're going to head to break for 2 minutes, and we'll be right back with your winner. Welcome back to Sim TV. I'm Kyle Heyer here with Finney DeCuna and your winner, Danny Roberts, the driver of the number 41. Danny, you probably deserved to win last week at Homestead, but the fuel strategy didn't work out in your favor. But this week, an incredible race up there with Tyler Tucker and Zach Buchanan. But you came home victorious today. Tell us about your race and how it feels to win the second round of this season.
Thank you. Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, I blew it on the fuel mileage, but this week I was a lot more careful. And I usually don't do that well at this track. I seem to have a hard time, but I had it dialed in. And Tyler, Zach, and Tim, they sure didn't make it easy. That's for sure. They were there the whole time.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Danny, and we'll hope to see you in Victory Lane more often this season. Your qualifying effort was pretty good. You started up there pretty on pole, I believe, and that was a really great effort there, and you stayed up front most of the race. Did you think out there tonight that the pole position was worth having there?
Yeah, for sure. Clean air is a big deal here. If you're stuck behind somebody, especially in 1 and 2, it's really hard. You tend to walk to the outside. And 3 and 4, if you're behind somebody, it's hard to judge the entry. So anytime I could get in clean air, that was an advantage.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, Danny, and congratulations on the victory. And we'll see you next week.
Okay, guys. Thanks for covering the race. I appreciate it.
No problem, Danny. Thanks. And we're now with your third place driver, the 40 of Zach Buchanan. First off, Zach, congratulations with the third place. You had one heck of a battle there with eventual winner Danny Roberts. Tell us about your race.
Well, I qualified better than I expected. I've never been really good at IndyCar stuff, so I was pretty happy to see that. And then throughout the race, I did the best I can to keep my tires safe and stay up there because Danny and Tyler, they had crazy pace. I couldn't keep up in the end, but I'm happy with how I did.
It's a little bit different strategies than eventual winner Danny Roberts. So your tire strategy, you were out there a little bit longer, or you came in a little bit sooner, and so you had a little bit older tires at the end of the race. Were the older tires affecting the speed in the car at late race?
Oh, yeah. We pit early. My team pit early around lap 75 or so, and to try to get as many laps on newer tires as we could, and it ended up paying off for a few laps. I was ahead of Danny coming out when he came out of the pits, but in the end, it just couldn't last, and they were much quicker and passed me in no time. It's especially towards the beginning of a tire stint, I noticed that the tires just drop off.
All right, Zach. Well, you did a great job. Congratulations on the third place finish.
Thank you.
Another good finish for you, and good luck in the next race.
Thank you.
Hi there, Matt Dugan at Sim TV in the broadcast booth. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, guys.
Well, an incredible race for you. Again, just like at Homestead, came from way far back in the pack. I believe you started 21st all the way up to a 9th place finish. So first of all, I want to commend you on that. And tell us what it was like to climb through the field again like you did last week.
Well, just like last week, I think y'all mentioned in the broadcast, probably didn't get the qualifying lap I was looking for, and that was the case. And then same thing happened today, and I was like, well, got a lot of work in front of me because I know I can do it. You know, I have full confidence that I was able to make some moves, and it changed a little bit. Like the first, let's say 8 or 9 of them, pretty straightforward. Relatively, there were some close incidents. I know we got 3 wide a couple times, and then when it got to the end, it was a little more challenging, and I learned a lot throughout all of it. That was the important part.
Well, congratulations again on an incredible race, Matt. And we expect to see you up competing for wins sometime soon. We just got to get the strategy on your side. So congratulations on that 9th place finish, and good luck next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, Finian. So we had 13 cars finish on the lead lap, 3 cautions, 1 at lap 4, 1 around lap 40 something or other, and we had 1 with 3 to go. So good, clean racing for the most part tonight. A lot of good competition out there on the racetrack. As you can see on the ticker on the left-hand side of your screen, pretty close finish for the win, 0.2 of a second for the win, and back in the pack they're a little bit even tighter. So the second round of 15 was just as exciting as the first round. And also, I just want to mention that late night sprints for ISDC begins in an hour from Volusia, and you can find the password for that session in the Discord. So we just want to put that out there for those that are watching. Again, we'll have the race start time in the description, and please visit the links and also check the point standings after race 2. Now, they're a little bit different than the finishing results were after, because we had last week's race influence as well. So check the point standings, and we will see you next week with the third round of the ISTC Rigshare World Series. I'm Kyle Heyer, here with Finney and DeCuna from SimTV. Thanks for watching.